Every Big Brother fan remembers where they were the moment it was announced Nadia Almada had won the 2004 series. The iconic reality television moment, and Nadia's stint on the program, has gone down in pop culture history books as one of the most memorable, as she became the first ever transgender housemate on the show before going on to win the series, with a huge 3.9 million votes. Even singer Adele gave Nadia, 46, during her recent Las Vegas show, revealing Nadia's win on the show was one of her favorites. It was when Nadia won, Adele recently recalled to her audience during her Las Vegas residency show. And we were ecstatic in Greece while Nadia was winning Big Brother. The Mirror can't help but share their memory of Nadia's win as they sit down to chat with the reality icon. A humble Nadia listens and replies, "It's so beautiful to hear those stories. It's so important to hear them as well, and so flattering." She adds, "I hear that a lot. I hear people were in labor, I hear people doing all sorts of things when I won, and how emotional they all were and how truly they were supporting me and behind me and elated for my win." While much of the nation were behind the star when she was crowned the winner of the 5th series of Big Brother, Nadia was also subjected to cruel transphobic abuse during her time in the house and in the spotlight, with host Davina McCall even misgendering the star while she hosted the program. One heartbreaking moment even saw a member of the public yell transphobic abuse at the star from outside the house while she sat with her housemates, who she opted to keep her transgender identity from, in the garden. The contrast of Nadia's incredible win and the cruel and unnecessary abuse she received in the spotlight showed that the British public still had a lot to learn. However, Nadia revealed the awful experiences of public abuse are a sad reality for those within the transgender community, even today, but the language used is different. She says, "I didn't know any different, this is how we were expected to be treated at all times, so what does that say about society?" Of host Davina's digs, Nadia says, "In essence she didn't treat me no less, no better, no worse than anybody else in society at that point in time." Of course now she probably feels regretful and remorseful about it. "I think she does, I hope so. In those days it was a free-for-all, it is what it was. I've almost forgiven and forgotten because I've grown with my own identity and I've grown to understand more than just being that. But as a trans woman, did I expect anything different? No." In 2010, when Nadia re-entered the house for Ultimate Big Brother, Davina made another dig about the star's boyish good looks but later apologized. She said at the time, "Nadia has always been one of my favorite housemates of all time. But if I upset her or indeed anyone by the comment I made, then I am horrified and offer my genuine apologies." Although Davina hasn't reached out directly to Nadia, she says, "The only thing I have to give credit to her, she's always said I've been her #1 favorite of all time. I'll take that." Nadia, who recently underwent cosmetic surgery at Facial Team, says she and others in the community still receive abuse today, but it's not as outright. "It's a different language," she tells us, looking back at the abuse she received in the 00s. She said, "The T-word was very predominant. And now we can't say that anymore. Even Davina calling me a man, those things, look at how different it is now." But the reality star does have high hopes for the future, and the new series of the program, it's a new generation, the 3rd generation of Big Brother, so it's all exciting times. The reality icon is enjoying the series and hosts regular live TikTok videos, which she calls Big Tokes, where she talks all things Big Brother. Despite a minority tuning in to abuse her, Nadia doesn't let it faze her and says the issue lies with those who write the abuse, not the ones who receive it. She adds, "I don't even see it as transphobia, I just see this person, assuming they are a cisgender male presenting, and in essence they are misogynists, they hate women in general, that's how I see it because that's what it is." While Nadia's experience in the spotlight was a difficult one, she hopes contestant Hallie will have a more positive experience. The star admitted, "I am concerned, but I think ITV has the right platform and the right aftercare ready for her, I hope. They promised us, so they should follow with due diligence." Not only will Hallie's experience be different to Nadia's in some ways because of the 20-year difference, but, unlike Nadia, Hallie came out to her housemates as a transgender woman. Nadia chose to keep the fact she was transgender from her housemates and tells Mirror it was a big negotiation point for her before agreeing to take part. "It was my decision. It was one of my, if anything, my only terms and conditions I had with the production, with Big Brother itself. I made my own rules, I wanted to create my own narrative," she powerfully says. Hallie's touching moment, meanwhile, received praise from viewers on social media, while her housemates all appeared to be supportive, which evoked Nadia to feel protective over Hallie. "I knew immediately once she came out and she made that beautiful moment to her housemates and the nation, presenting herself and her identity as trans, I automatically felt very protective of her," Nadia admits. Nadia's that feeling of protectiveness seemed justified when in a later episode Hallie was faced by an uncomfortable line of questioning from the now evicted housemate Farida, where the makeup artist asked Hallie about her sexuality. Nadia says the moment was controversial because it's open for discussion and also uncomfortable to watch. She adds, "The objectification of bodily parts, that same narrative it is a bit old, but I guess it's education our previous generations of how it works, and I think that topic is important." Nadia has hopes for Hallie's journey in the house. She reveals, she's gonna transcend beyond being trans and, hopefully, she'll be an amazing contestant for weeks to come. Another scene from the series so far saw Hallie break down as she admitted struggling to express herself and shared hopes to make the trans community proud. Reacting to that moment, Nadia says, "I just think she needs a hug. She needs to understand that Hallie is Hallie and there are layers other than gender identity. She is trans, but there is also the responsibility of being a trans woman, and that's where carries somewhat an expectation from the community and from within herself, how she's being perceived, but she shouldn't be. We all come in shapes and sizes, we all are who we are, and it's not the only thing she has to offer, and hopefully we'll find out in weeks to come," she says. If Hallie was to win the show, Nadia says she would be happy to pass on the baton. She says, "At this point in my life I'm very happy to pass on the baton. I will come and well do a passing over of the crown of the new 21st century trans woman," she laughs. "I'll be very happy to do that for Hallie. And while seeing transgender contestants on our televisions is a great move in terms of progression, Nadia hopes in the future, people within the community can take on other roles within the industry, such as in production or even as presenters themselves." When asked what producers need to do to achieve progression, Nadia says, "I wanna see them beyond a headline and as a contestant. I want to see them presenting BBC News at 10, having their own shows and without any sensationalism behind it." Follow Mirror Celebs on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube and Threads.